2019 is here, and it's time to shake things up and deliberately create your best year ever. This video is a compilation to inspire, educate, and motivate the female entrepreneur. So sit back and be prepared to ignite your entrepreneurial spirit and step into your personal power. What you want to do is you want to ask yourself, who do I have to be now to be who I want to be? Once you discover who you want to be, that version of yourself that you see in your mind's eye, you need to find out, what do I need to know? What skills do I have to have? What behaviors do I have to be that person right now? Once you figure that out, that will be a tremendous help for you so that you can really change your life with little increments along the way. So I think it's really important for us to recognize that oftentimes we only change what we feel is convenient because we don't step out of our comfort zone a lot of times. So what I'm suggesting in this strategy is that you change what you must change, but not what's convenient for you. Do you see what I'm getting at here? So oftentimes people want to lose weight, but you know, that comfort food is calling their name. There's that fried chicken and their cake, and it's just not convenient for them because maybe they're going to a party or something. But maybe your doctor told you that you needed to lose weight, so this becomes a must for you. So that's an example that you need to change something that you must change, but not what's convenient for you. All right, so when we think of up-leveling our business, we can think of a whole slew of things to focus on that we think will level up our business. But the truth is, what we really need to be doing is focusing. And therein lies the biggest problem. We're always looking at our friends and our peers, looking at what they're doing and thinking that we need to do what they're doing, right? And the truth of the matter is that friends and potential collaborators are not competitors. That's right. We're always looking at them like we're judging ourselves as if we should be doing better than we are. But we often are judging ourselves and comparing ourselves to our friends and our peers. And the fact of the matter is that they are not competitors, and we are all going to be very different and working at different paces because our situations are all very different. So we never want to fall into that trap of judging ourselves, right? And certainly it's never going to help us change the world when we're constantly judging ourselves. And remember that these people could be potential partners or collaborators. And I think that this is a place where we need to think about abundance, that there isn't this competition. You see, what this is a mindset of scarcity. The last thing that we want to do is to be thinking that there isn't enough out there, because there is always enough. When we're looking at potential competitors, which is the mindset of scarcity, this is something that tends to bring us down and put limiting beliefs and blocks in our way. But when we take a look at them as though they are partners or potential collaborators, it really opens up our world to seeing what is truly possible. In this first tip, I need you to really be aware of your self-talk. This is something that we are all guilty of. We say, oh, I'm so mad at myself. I hate myself. And you can say so many detrimental things to yourself. I'm a loser. I'm never going to be successful. And these things are what really get us in deep water. So what we need to do is we need to choose everything we say as if it's an affirmation. So we realize that there's a subconscious that's working on an underlying level. So we realize that you're listening to this video and you're in your full awareness, right? But there's an underlying subconscious there that is listening as well. And it's always there. It's there when you're sleeping as well. So we need to be very careful when we have self-talk, that we are saying I am followed by something that is productive, something that is going to help us reach our goals, something that's going to help us feel more empowered. So think of your triggers, for example. Whenever there is something bad that's happening in your life, maybe there is a person that triggers you, an event that triggers you. You know what I mean. Something will happen and it makes you feel bad. So what we want to do is that inner work that helps us identify what those triggers are so we can be ready for them. Whenever something bad happens to you, you want to be ready to replace that trigger so that you don't go right into that I am bad place, right? So you want to do some journaling. Break out a piece of paper and a pencil and think about the situations that really just light you up. And I don't mean in a good way. I mean those triggers, those events that happen that really get you in a bad mood. They put you under and they make you start having bad self-talk. So what we want to do is we want to identify those, and then we want to think of a better phrase. So whenever that comes up, you'll have that go-to phrase for you to say. So succeeding despite fear means that you have to take action. This is where we all fall down. So on some level, you want to achieve something. You want to succeed at something. There are a lot of things that we want to succeed at. We all have different goals. You might want to change your career. You might be going in for an interview for a new career. You might want to improve relationships or go after relationships. You might even just want to lose some weight. All of these things mean that we're taking risks, but we tend to procrastinate when we fear something. So what is it that we are fearing here? Well, most of all, we are fearing failure. That is the biggest thing. The main thing here is that we are afraid of failing on a passive level in our subconscious mind, and this is what stops us. This is what prevents us from moving forward, and we procrastinate so much. So if you have ever procrastinated on one of your goals, tell me here in the comment section below. I'm really interested in what you are working on. So our mind seems to go immediately to the worst case scenario. This is what stops us. And oftentimes, mothers are doing this every day with their children. They're always thinking about how their children are going to get hurt. So we see that this is something that's ingrained in us, not just because of our mothers who are worrywarts, but it's something that is happening more on a human level. You see, it's the amygdala in our brain, and it's there to keep us safe. And this is why we don't take risks. Our mind plays tricks on us, and it keeps us safe. But the thing is that there's so many people who want to achieve so much more in their life that they're so afraid of moving forward. So what do we do about this? So since this fear is on a subconscious level, it's time to start asking ourselves questions to bring it to a more conscious level. So to start here, get yourself a piece of paper and a pencil. I want to ask you this first question. Where in your life is fear stopping you from succeeding? So the next question that will really help give you clarity is, what is the worst case scenario that can possibly happen by you moving forward in this goal? What would be the consequences of you taking this action? What would your life look like if you succeeded? And what would it look like if you didn't take action? So for us to overcome these fears, we know that we have to bring them up from a subconscious level on the surface so that we can examine them and dissect them. This is where we will find clarity. These questions are meant for you to discover what you can do to start taking some actions despite your fear. Fear is something that is very primitive. It's in us all, and it's meant to keep us safe. But we want so much more in our life, right? We realize that there must be more to our life, but we have to stop this fear from overwhelming us and creating this procrastination that completely causes us to be handicapped. Now, I want to make sure that you understand that this is the one thing that the top 1%ers do to create any kind of massive success. So let's get started here. So one of the things that a lot of people say to me is, I want to do what you do. I've been online since the 90s, and I've been an entrepreneur, 25 years. I've done a lot of really kind of interesting things that a lot of people are not able to do, some traveling, that sort of thing, physique competitions and marathons. And those are some kind of different things that people don't do. But I'm single and I'm homeschooling, so there's a lot of different lifestyle changes that I do. And people ask how they can have that kind of freedom. And the thing is that I can encourage you to do those things. I can give you the business strategies and all of that with encouragement and empowerment. But there's this one thing that the top 1%ers do that you can do too, but a lot of people won't do it. So as much of encouragement as I can give people and strategy, you really got to, go within yourself and do this one thing. So let me ask you, if you're participating here, if I asked you, what does discipline mean to you? What would you say? Because I think a lot of people have a little misconception about what discipline really means. And, I think that this is a really important question because we have limiting beliefs or beliefs in general about what discipline means. So we were disciplined as a child, right? And we're taught to believe that discipline is something harsh. Discipline is something that's bad, right? And so we don't feel like we want to be disciplined when we think about losing our baby weight. If you're ever a mom, you've had some baby weight to lose. You know what I mean? Give me some hearts if you have ever been a mom and you had to get rid of that baby weight, right? This is something that we go through, and we realize that we are going to have to eat a certain way, and we are going to have to hit the gym. We might have to hire a trainer. And there's this thing that goes on in our head. Now, I'm not speaking for you. This is some of the things that I was a personal trainer many, many moons ago. Some input that I got from the clients I worked with, how I personally felt when I had to lose that baby weight. And there's this discipline. You're going to have to do this hard work, right? It's going to be hard. You start thinking about the vegetables, right? And you realize, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to step up my game. And what happens in here? You start to feel a certain way. You don't feel wonderful and psyched, You start feeling like, oh, this is going to be hard, and it's really difficult for us when we get into that mentality. So we've got to be really careful. So when we start thinking about discipline, we have to understand that discipline is training. That is all it is. And in my mind, because of everything that I've done in my life when I was homeless, discipline is freedom, because it means I control my own life. I control my destiny. No one controls it, right? So we have to rewire our brain into thinking about discipline a different way. So we start thinking about the 1%ers and what they do. Sure, there's a lot of different things that they do. We were talking in my group, the Dynamic Divas, about goal setting, right? How often you review your goals and that sort of thing. So we realize that there's a lot of that. There's having proper confidence, being committed, being passionate about what you're doing. All of those things factor into the success that the 1%ers have. But there's this one thing that they have over everybody else, and it's discipline. When I had to do those, when I performed in a marathon or as a physique competitor and I would place or win, it wasn't because I was better than anybody else. It was because I trained harder. No one was going to outlast me, right? Out-strategize me. I'm going to learn everything I can about this subject that I want to learn. What are the characteristics of a millionaire? And we can start thinking about all sorts of different things. Certainly there is a strategy, right? There's the strategy and the mindset. Because understand that you can have strategies and it's not going to create the life that you want, right? So there's so many aspects to this, and these keys really are what is going to create this new life. And I think of how it is that I created Fearless Pursuits, for example. When I started my life over, believe me, I was in rock bottom, and I was feeling really bad about myself, my self-esteem, and I was feeling like an imposter with everything that I was doing because I needed to keep a certain, I don't know, a certain look about myself, right? A certain persona about myself. I had to keep it all together for the kids. But I had a low confidence, low self-esteem. I really wasn't sure which way to go. And when I created Fearless Pursuits, it was all about creating a life that I felt excited about. And I know that you've got lots of things that you want to do in your life, right? You want better fitness and you want better relationships and you definitely want more money. And when we start realizing what it is that we have to do and what we need to start creating the lifestyle that we want, at a very basic level, it is money in a way, right? Because we can't even donate. We can't give our money to help make the world a better place when we don't even have the money to do that. We can't buy the quality food that we want to make our health better. So we realize that we need money for all of this. We want to give our children the best life possible, but when we don't have the money, we can't do that. And we realize that we want to have really great relationships, but oftentimes we have to heal our minds. We have to heal our wounds, and we need help with that by hiring coaches, for example. So at a very basic level, we need money. And that's where Fearless Pursuits came from. I realized that there were so many things I wanted out of life, but at the very basic level, I needed to make some money. But understanding that millionaire mindset means that there are so many components to this. So what we need to do, I guess maybe the number one thing would be knowing what it is that you want to do that is going to give value to people. This is something that millionaires know. They realize that they have to actually give something away that people really need, something that they really want. Realizing that giving it away is one aspect of it, but if it's something they really want, they will actually pay for it. So millionaires know this. And this third mindset switch, I think, has really been a game changer for me in my business. And it's really about making offers. You see, in business, we often feel as though making an offer is salesy, and we lose our power. We feel as though what we are doing is pushing a sale on someone. But when you think about what it is you're offering, if you truly believe that what you are offering gives someone value, makes their life better, then you're not being salesy. So this mindset switch for me was more about stepping out of my comfort zone and stepping out of fear and self-doubt and knowing that my message will truly change someone's life. I mean, when you think about all the different types of businesses out there, whether it's making water clean or giving someone toxic-free makeup, or maybe you're literally a life coach and you're helping someone come out of a bad situation in their life, you know that they need this. And this is the place where we need to come from as business owners. When you're thinking about making an offer out there, and using whatever avenue you have to get that offer seen by the masses, know that it's not salesy, it's not pushy, it's something that someone out there really needs. So never be afraid to make an offer out there, because this is the one thing that is a win-win situation for them and for yourself. I know I've talked about this strategy so many times, but I will never stop talking about it because I think it's that important. And this strategy is setting goals. writing those goals down, reading the goals every day, several times a day, journaling about those goals. This is a tremendous game changer if you really want to change your life forever. So many people talk about how they have goals, but then when you ask to see their goals, like as if they've written it down, then they can't produce it. And therein lies the biggest problem for a lot of people. So if you want to change your life forever, you've got to do it like your life depends on it. You know, I created fearlesspursuits.com because I too had a great deal of fear when it came to creating the lifestyle that I wanted. There were so many things that I wanted out of life, but I was just too afraid to go after them. I can think back to the time when I was competing as a physique competitor. That meant literally standing on stage in a bikini, half naked, with thousands of people looking at me. So my mind went to the worst case scenario, and I thought of what would happen if I failed. And I thought about how humiliating it would be. I would have to go back to my city and go back to my gym and see all those people and face them and knowing that I failed. And I realized that I knew that I had to do this and that I had to give it my best shot. And I won, but it wasn't easy getting there. But I can think back about so many other things that I was frightened about. Even standing before you in front of this camera, I still have a great deal of fear. I have fear of failure with my business. Creating an online business is not something that everyone can do. There's a small percentage of people that actually succeed in their online business. So I had a lot of fear around that. I had fear with my divorce. I had fear of homeschooling, fear of raising my children up as a single mom, fear of moving from one state to another state. So I completely understand what fear of success is, but successful people know that you must act in spite of fear. This is the only way that you'll ever be able to achieve your goals. You know, 90% of your success is just showing up. That is the most important thing that you've got to remember. If you can decide on what it is that you want to do every single day, write it down, set some goals, be committed to it, and have some discipline. This is that one thing that the 1%ers know. And that's how I managed to be successful in what I do. And am I going to tell you that it was easy? Losing the baby weight? Come on, ladies. It's not easy, is it? Give me some hearts. Give me some laughing emojis if you know what I mean. It's not easy. Building your business, it's not easy. But we don't walk around saying it's hard, right? Because we realize that we're signing up for this. This is a choice. Choice plus action equals purposeful passion in everything we do. And it doesn't matter if we're talking about your business. It can be your relationship with your marriage, your relationship with your children, your health, your fitness with your body, your skin, your hair, everything that you eat. It doesn't matter. It's discipline. When we say we want to do something, we want to have something in our life, we've got to outperform anybody else so that we can be the best we can be and have massive success in our life. So let's take a look at a parent, for example. They're pregnant. I mean, the mom is pregnant, clearly. I don't know. Sometimes, you know, when the woman gets pregnant, the man is pregnant too. You know, when he gains all this weight and they both look like they're pregnant. And, you know, the couple is pregnant. Well, they're having this baby and the baby is here, right? And she's taking care of this baby. It's not like she's going to say, oh, I don't know, this is too hard. I got to put it back in the womb or, you know, give the baby away. You know, we don't do that, right? With our babies, with our family. But we'll do it with our marriages, and we'll do it with our friends. We'll do it with our physique, our health, our fitness, the things that we choose to eat. We'll do it with our business. Oh, that's too hard. We hear it all the time. How many times, just tell me here in the comments, how many times have you heard someone say, oh, that's too hard. I don't know how you do it. That's too hard. I heard that over and over and over again with the competing that I've done. And sure, I understand it, that type of competing, marathons, yeah, it was hard. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it because, you want to set your sights on specific goals that are in alignment with you and your life. What I do in my life is completely different than whatever it is you want to do in your life. If you want to write a book, some people would say, oh, that's too hard. I don't know how you do it. Wow, right? But it's a mindset, you see? It's discipline. You make a decision. It's a choice that you have, and then you take action every single day. So whatever it is that you're doing in your life, whether it's, a marriage that needs a little bit more nurturing, understand, it's 100% on both sides, right? And your business, start thinking about how it is you can outperform somebody and outlast them, out-strategize them, right? Learn everything that you can about it and be purposeful in your passion and decide that you're going to do something every single day that's going to get you closer and closer and closer to the mark. But what ends up happening for a lot of women in particular is they have some sort of fear around becoming visible online. So this comes from a lot of different things for a lot of different women. Most of the time it has to do with confidence, with our self-worth. So we realize as women that we are very competitive, and we often are comparing ourselves to others, usually women who are far more successful than us, and we have no business comparing ourselves to them, but we do it anyway. So we realize that not feeling good enough is really an epidemic in our society today, really all over the world. Women are feeling as though they are not smart enough, they are not pretty enough, they are not good enough, they are not tall enough, they don't know enough. And this is a major problem when we start to sit down at our desk to create that blog post or that social media post and to get our message out so that we can help the world and ultimately create the freedom that we want. So as an entrepreneur, you're creating an intentional lifestyle. This means that you want to have a certain amount of freedom to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, and to make money doing what you love. And I really honor all of you for wanting to take that step, to be able to go out into the world and do what it is you love to do and to make your mark on the world, because it is one of those things that is scary. And that's why I created Fearless Pursuits, because it's all about going after your dreams as if your life depends on it. But sometimes that means we have to do some inner work for ourselves, but we also have to do the work, the strategies that create the success that we're able to show the world. And when we're talking about creating that success and strategies, it amounts to the marketing. But make no mistake about it, behind the marketing, we have our mindset. That's the mindset of someone who can become visible. Now, becoming visible means that we have to step out of our comfort zone. We have to become maybe even a public figure. So that means we're going to be using the social media, and it means that we're going to be creating blog posts and podcasts, doing lots of different things that we might otherwise feel uncomfortable doing. Like me creating this video right now. Once upon a time, I was very nervous about it. And it was really difficult for me, and I flubbed about every other word and had to have lots of different takes with my videos. And I am still very nervous about doing it, and yet I do it every single week. So what comes behind our fear? So we talked about us not feeling good enough, right? But there's other things that go into this for a lot of people. There's fear around being criticized. And this is a major problem for a lot of people, especially women. Now, men don't typically have this sort of problem because they are in their masculine energy. But as a woman, We are in our feminine energy, and this is where we want to live. We want to feel our body. We want to feel our heart, our soul, our spirit. And how is it that we can be aggressive and market our business while staying in our feminine energy? And this is a balance. All right, so if you've got a business, more than likely you need to promote your business. And a lot of people are struggling with pitching, finding that confidence to really promote their business because they feel like it's slimy and sleazy. If that has ever been you, tell me here in the comments below. I know, because that was me one time. And what I do every day as a mindset business coach is to talk to entrepreneurs about strategies on how to build their business so that they can have that level of success that they dream of. And one of the biggest complaints I have is that they don't know how to pitch. They don't feel confident in their marketing and their promoting plan. So that's what I want to talk with you about. One of the biggest things I want you to realize is that you have a gift to share, your zone of genius. This is something that is so powerful when you think about all of the people that you can help. So somewhere out there, there's someone laying awake at night with a particular problem that they're just ready to throw the towel in. And you have the solution. So I want you to think about this person. This is what's going to empower you to dig really deep so that you can give them the solutions they need. Now, I realize that there's a lot of people doing exactly what it is you do, and you may even feel that they are doing it better. Maybe you're new, right? And this is something that I felt. I didn't feel like I had the clout. I didn't feel like I had the years into the business to be able to help people. So realize that there's always someone out there that you know a little bit more than they do. So this is the person that you can help. So clearly, you don't want to help someone lose 100 pounds if you yourself are always in perfect condition. You don't even know what that's like. You can't resonate with them. They can't resonate with you. But realize that if you have been perfect, always healthy, that maybe there is someone that's your perfect person, the perfect niche for you. Maybe you like to help those that are really dynamic and they're athletes. Those might be the people that you can help. So realize that we have to really find our niche. We have to find our ideal client, know a little bit more about them, and maybe know that we once were them. I didn't always have the knowledge to be able to speak with you about online entrepreneurship, and my mindset wasn't always what it is today. I struggled with a lot of things, and I still do. So I'm always learning, and I realize that I may not be on par with Tony Robbins for sure, but I definitely can help a lot of people. So this is where you want to really be. You want to really be thinking about that ideal person that you can help. This is really important for us if you want to be able to move to that next level and promote. Having that growth mindset is really important. So when we were talking about strategy before and buying all those courses, that's not at all what I mean. A growth mindset is having the mindset of learning how to become better inside, how to have a better mind, how to really work on our self-esteem, and how to be a better communicator, how to be better in relationships. And that's that inner work that we have to do, right? That inner work is the hardest part for a lot of people because it means that we have to dig really deep and heal our wounds. And this is part of the growth mindset. A lot of people really just want to stay comfortable in their lives, and they don't want to start working on their wounds and those things that have held them back. And this is a real problem and why people are not leveling up in their life. But millionaires know that they should not be an employee. An employee is never going to help you become rich. So that millionaire mindset is that they must be an entrepreneur, they must create value, and they must work on themselves, and they must not be an employee. These are all things that millionaires know that create a great deal of wealth in their life. This journey of growing and healing and learning and really working on our mindset is something that successful people know they need to do, where a lot of people that are in a very fixed mindset don't realize that they need to do. Yes, you have to enjoy the journey. That's the ups and the downs, because they're going to be there. So we need to know that there's so many characteristics of a successful person that really creates this millionaire mindset. So I want you to tell me in the comments below if you are working on a growth mindset, if you're working on creating more patience. Maybe you need to work on that more. Tell me what it is that you are really working on. I would love to know. So, discipline. It doesn't mean something bad. Discipline is training your mind. It's training you to reach a level of success that your competitors will not reach, because you are outperforming them. You are outlasting them. These types of issues here in our mind are so important. They're equally as important as a strategy. I mean, let's face it, when we have the strategies right before us, some people will do what it takes and some people won't do what it takes. So it's really important for us to ask ourselves, are we willing in good times and in hard times to do what it takes, no matter what? Because this is what is going to help you reach that level of success that you need. Sometimes we need to hear these things in a different way. Sometimes we need the empowerment, we need the reminder so that it can push us and lift us up and support us, right? Sometimes that's what it takes. It's not necessarily the strategy on how to do everything, right? Sometimes it's knowing that we have to work within our mind to create that level of success that we want. So sales feels icky, and that's a technical term. So seriously, we don't like to sell as women. Why? It's because we recognize that when we're in this aggressive mode of marketing our business, going after the different social medias and having to get ourselves out there in the blogosphere and creating all sorts of buzz around us, it is a hustle. It is a feeling of overwhelm, and that is not a feminine place to be. So we realize that we're opening ourselves up to be criticized, and therein lies the problem of becoming masculine, because we realize that what we will end up having to feel is accused, right? We feel as though we have to stand up for ourselves, stick our chest out, and have to fight for ourselves. And that is no fun at all, and it is not being in the feminine energy at all. So this is something that we see in our mind's eye, in our subconscious mind. It's always there in the background. It's running all the time. You see, we have developed an operating system in our mind, much like Windows 10, for example, that's running our laptops. You see, we've been conditioned to believe that it is not a feminine thing to sell. It's not feminine and lovely to market our business, to be aggressive. And it certainly doesn't feel good knowing that there could be someone at any point, a hater, that is going to hate your message and accuse you of being a fake, for example. And that's exactly what happens when we put ourselves out there. And that being said, could really scare off a lot of people who are really interested in promoting their business, who is interested in starting their business. But I want to honor you right here and now. If this is you and you are saying, heck no, I'm going to do the dang thing. Well, that's exactly why I created Fearless Pursuits, because we are doing what it takes to create our dreams. And understand that as an intentional entrepreneur, you have a big reason why you're doing it. Maybe it's your kids. Just like me, as a single mom, I had to make it, or I don't know what I was going to do because I had to take care of the kids. So if you're like me, you realize that the importance of getting your message out there is bar none something you have to do. Maybe it is for your ideal clients, thinking about their problem and how you are absolutely obsessed and passionate about helping them solve their problem. Maybe that's your why. But we have to really get in touch with our why. But we also have to stay in our authentic voice as a female, as a feminine spirit. So these are all the keys of creating success in our life in every aspect. And at that very basic level, knowing that we need to create wealth, not just monetary wealth, but health and relationships, because this will create that lifestyle that we all dream of.